everybody. Welcome back to my metacognition as I organize thoughts in my own head about how I have been using the GLAD techniques, guided language acquisition development, in my secondary language classroom. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. My name is Madame Sensei. That's what my students call me. Senora Madame Sensei is a little too long, so it's just Madame Sensei. And today we're going to talk about the Big Book, which is another cornerstone of the GLAD process. Okay, so the Big Book is entirely in our wheelhouse. This is our TPRS. All right, so normally the way I do TPRS, I have the students shout out something. I write the person's name here, and then I go through, are they at school? Are they looking at school? Are they looking in America? Are they looking in the store? Are they looking in the park? And I go through all these pictures. And I started doing my TPRS this way during the pandemic because I wasn't able to call students to the front of the class. So I put the picture and the words right on screen, and it works so well. I've never gone back. This is the way I do my TPRS now. So I started, it's GLAD. I've got to make a big book. We're talking about food words. We're talking about where you get your food. So I'm going to make a big book about a restaurant, I decided. So in a restaurant, we see, the customer, the waiter, the chef, the family comes to the restaurant, your friends, blah, 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 blah. I go through all the people, okay? And then you might see, and then I go through all the things, a chair, money, the bill, all the things you're going to need in a restaurant, okay? You could order, and then I go through some food, and of course, this is where I can put on all my culture, all the typical French foods and stuff like that. But golly, do you see something? Oh my God, it was so boring. Oh, it was just like, yeah, here's your vocabulary words, and I put them together in a sentence. Hooray for me. This is not the way I like to teach. This is not the way my students like to listen to a lecture. It was just so boring. So I went back, and instead I said, well, I'm not just going to say this is what you see in a restaurant. I'm going to make up a story about people in a restaurant. So I let the students choose 2 people. I'm like, it's got to be more like our TPRS. TPRS has to be goofy. It has to be funny, okay? So they choose 2 people. And I said, this guy has a crush on her, or whatever, whichever 2 people they chose. And it was really funny as they chose different things. And then one of them asked the other one out, oh yeah, I want to go out with you. Or I had them choose, I want to talk about our homework. I want to spend time with you. I want to leave my house. I want to have a free meal, so I let them choose what they wanted to say. Whoops. And then it got to be my style because I let the students choose a restaurant, and this was my favorite. One class chose Arby's, okay, and they figured out to say this, okay, we have the meat. Here it's some meat, but that's okay. We're working on le partitif, right? But now it's something that the students can sink their teeth into. Haha, it's food. They sink their teeth into it. But suddenly I had them hooked. It was much more interesting, okay? So I could talk about all these words in the context of the story, and it was much more comprehensible input that way because we had a story to frame everything around, okay? So the waiter brings a menu. He brings a menu. Does he bring a chair? No, he doesn't bring a chair. That's ridiculous. Does he bring money? No, he doesn't bring money. That's ridiculous. Does he bring the bill? You haven't even ordered anything. No, he doesn't bring the bill. Does he bring a spoon? You don't have food. So, we were able to go through each thing, and they heard the circling helped them so much more than the way I had started out, the boring way I'd started out doing it. Now, because it's TPRS, and I like to be goofy with my TPRS, although I was really sad because I just saw Bryce Hedstrom, one of my heroes, in a lecture, and he says he doesn't do the flying pink elephants anymore, and that makes me really sad because I love doing that. So the students are hooked, and normally at the bottom of the stack, I put some joke ones because I figure, they're going to get goofy. That's good. They're going to remember everything. They're still circling all these words 100 times. They're going to remember, as the server says, I recommend steak and fries. They're going to hear that every single time we read the story, which is like once a day for 2 weeks. So I'm not worried about them remembering that. But at the base, I always put some joke stuff so that I know they're going to get goofy. So they've already read Asterix Le Gaulois at this point. So I put in Le Pudding à l'Arsenic. And what else do I have? Oh, La Bouche de Noël. I need water. La Bouche de Noël from Panique au Village, which they love. What else? Do I have anything else in here? Nope, that was just a couple of joke ones, just so that they can be more invested in the story that way. And then I always, Ben Slavic was recommending you put in a lot of numbers into your stories because the students don't get enough practice with numbers. So sure, he's surprised because whatever it is that the person that he asked out has ordered cost a lot of money, but it's fine. He doesn't say anything. So that way we can put in some more numbers. I thought that was really good advice. So the big book, when I do it my way, which is crazy, I really, really enjoy it. The other thing I'll say about it that I haven't said, I think, is that because I'm doing it on my smartboard and I'm doing it with Active Inspire, which is basically a glorified PowerPoint, it is super easy for me to click print to PDF. And then I have a big book, okay? Or I can click print to PDF and I can put copies of this big book in my free voluntary reading library, okay? But it's, anyway, I can print up like 30, 35, and one for each student I have in this particular classroom, or I can print one giant book, however I want to do it. It's easy to do because I've done it on my smartboard like this. So next episode, I'm going to talk about where I had the most fun experimenting. I have like 9 different parts to this next thing where I talk about expert groups, which I was really banging my head against the wall for a while, but then I think I came up with a lot of good games for it. So hope to see you on the next one. And don't forget that if you want a printed version of anything I've said here, go to studio-nemo.com or tag me on the Duolingo Educators Network. Actually, I also have a print version on the Duolingo Educators Network. And you can also comment on the bottom of this video, of course, and ask me questions. And, you know, I'm always learning, so bounce ideas off of me. That'd be great. See you next time.